Hi everybody, it's 3 o'clock on a Thursday, and today I am making 3 grad cards. So this is a jam-packed video, but I want to show you how a lot of people aren't sure how to use these to the fullest. So I'm going to show you. We're going to make 3 cards. We're going to make this one. It's a fun full card. Just have to get my video there. And this one is a wiper card. You can see those little things coming up. And then this one is a twist and pop. All right. Okay, so stay with me and we're going to make 3 cards and I'm going to show you how to use this paper. Now, I do have instructions on this. So in the very beginning, hi Elaine, hi Muriel. In the very beginning here, on the first page, I am going to, there is a picture of the paper. And over here I have what you're going to cut. Hi Maureen. So it says here, cut the paper as shown, the reverse side is striped. So we're going to use both. We're going to use the stripe and we're going to use the cut aparts. And it's by Simple Story and it's called Graduation. I've done this before, but I thought I would show the new viewers how to do this. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right, so number 1, we're going to cut this as a 4 by 6. Maybe I should use the smaller one here. I was going to get my big one, but maybe I'll use this one. I use a guillotine, but I'll use this one today. So the first thing you want to do is you want to cut it into the 6 or the 4. So 4, 4, and 4. So that's the first thing we want to do. Okay, so I'm going to do that. There's one. And cut this one into at the 4. Okay, so then number 1, I'm going to cut the header off as well. All right. Okay. And then in the first one, it says to cut this into a 4 by 6, which we will do. And then I think we're going to be trimming it. So we'll cut that. And then it says, cut it, the 4 by 6, cut it to 3.5 by 4 3/4. So we're going to cut it into 3.5. So I'm going to take 1/4 of an inch off each side. And that will make 3.5. And then we want 4 3/4. So I'm going, this is 6. So I'm going to take half off the top. And 4 3/4. All right, so there is my 3.5 by 4 3/4. All right. the first card is a fun fold. And I give you instructions on how to make it. So we have, I remember Selena, you made these last year. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our 4 1/4 by 5.5 card, or 11, and we're going to score it. At 5.5 and 2 3/4. Okay, so 2 3/4 and 5.5. So the top one is a mountain fold, and the bottom one is a mountain fold as well. So the fold is on the bottom. All right, and then this little flap moves up and down like so. All right, so now I have, oh no, this is for not for this one. I'm sorry, I'm mixed up here. This one is for this one. So this one, sorry about that. This one is the twist and pop. So the front of the card, I'm going to put a 4 1/4 by 5.5 black. All right, and then I'm going to put a 3 3/4 by 5, and then we're going to put this one that we cut, and that's going to go on the front. All right, so now on the inside, we're going to make our twist and pop. So you need 2 pieces of white. These are 2 by 8, and this one is scored at 2, 4, and 6. So I'm going to fold this with a mountain fold in the center, and the side ones are going to go up like this. Okay, so we just accordion fold this, and we want the mountain fold in the center. And then we want another piece that's cut at 2 by 8. And on this one, we're going to score it at 4. And then we're also going to score it in half at 1, all the way down. All right? Then I'm going to take it, and I'm going to take I'll just use this. I'm going to just put a little tick mark at the 3 and at the 5. And I'm going to do that on both sides. 3 and 5. All right. Now we're going to do a diagonal. So I'm going to take that little tick mark, and I'm going to put it on my black line here. And I'm going to line it up with the other tick mark at the bottom, and I'm going to score a diagonal mark. All right, and then I'm going to turn it or rotate it, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. So I'm lining it up with that tick mark at the top and the tick mark at the bottom, and I'm drawing a diagonal line. All right, now I'm going to fold it on all of the score lines. Okay, so crease it on all of the score lines, the diagonal score lines, and everything. Now with it in this position, I am going to fold these sides in. I'm pushing these sides in, and when you push them in, it automatically makes that triangle at the top. All right, so it's important that the crease line or the score line here is a valley, and I'm closing them together. And when you close them together, you get that little triangle at the top. All right, so I'm going to bring my card in, and I'm just going to snip off this point. All right, so I just snip that point off, and then when you lay it in here like so, you're going to line up that score line, this score line, with the score line of your mechanism. All right, so I'm just going to put adhesive on this triangle. All right, now I'm not putting the point right at that score line because I cut the tip off, right? So I'm going to put it about here, and then I'm going to close my card. So you can do it that way, or you can open it up and place it on, lining up that score line in the center. All right, and then I'm going to close it this way, and I'm going to put some tape on this side, and then I'll close it up. So now you have your perfect little pop. Okay, so now I'm going to take this one, and this one is going to go on here. But before I do that, I will put my adhesive on. I'm just lining it up as a guideline with the side of the card. So I'll just put my adhesive here, just in the top right corner, and I'm also going to put it in the bottom left corner. Just lining it up with the edge of the card. Now I found after making this, it's best to trim off these sides because they show. So I'm just going to miter that corner like so, and then I'm going to miter this corner as well because they do show, and I didn't like that, so this is just an extra step. All right, now I'm taking this and I'm lining it up with the bottom left corner where my tape is, and that's going to go there. And then I'm going to slide this along, and then it's going to attach at the top right corner. And then it works perfect. See that? All right. Okay, so now we need these little pieces. So we'll go back to our paper. So maybe I'll just finish cutting this. I guess it makes more sense. All right, so number 2 is this piece here. And we are going to cut a piece for card number 1. And we're going to be using the striped side. And it says 3 3/4 by 5. All right, so let's do this 5 and 3 3/4. Okay, so that one I'll put aside. Then the next one is number 3, which is this dreams, and we're going to cut that 4 by 4. So we'll cut that 4 by 4, which is exactly what size it is. I'm just going to trim a bit of this off. Right, and I'll set that aside. Now here are the little pieces that I need for our card. Okay, so I'm going to leave them intact and I'll cut them after. Now this one is number 5. And we're trimming it to 3 by 4. All right, so I'm going to cut, this one's 4 by 4, so we're going to cut 1/2 inch off each side. And that one we're good. And it is now 3 by 4. All right. And then number 6, we're cutting 4 by 6 to 3 striped strips for card number 2. All right, and then, so I'm going to cut this out as a 4 by 6. And then at the bottom, I am going to cut 1/2 inch strips at 4 1/4 for card 2. All right, so we've got, and we're doing a stripe. So I'll turn it over. I can trim the length after. So I need 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. And then I need a piece that is 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. So 3 1/4 by 2 1/4. So you could use these measurements. Okay, so that goes there. I have these, which I will trim down to 4 1/4. That's for the wiper card for the little side pieces. So if you plan it all out, when you get these different ones, you can utilize the fronts and the backs of your card. And then the last one is this one. And we're going to cut these ovals out. But down the center, I need 1 more 1/2 inch strip. All right? So we're going to get that right out of the way right now. Because I need another one for my wiper card. So it was 4 1/4 by 1/2 inch. All right, and then I'm going to cut these ovals out. All right, so that's the cutting. So basically this is what's left of it. So we utilized a lot. All right, let's bring this one back. Now I do want to trim these. and it says trim to 2 by 2. But I'm going to trim these to a little 1 3/4. So I'm just going to cut them to 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 just to give a little border. But I mean, you could leave them 2 by 2, but you won't have much of a border there. So I'll just quickly do this. I usually like to cut them down a little bit. Okay, so there we go. So I cut them down from 2 to 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. And now we'll just put these onto our card. And I do have full instructions here for you. I love interactive cards, so this is a favorite of mine. Okay, so now we can put these on. And that leaves that white border. Sometimes you get these on your cut-aparts and you don't know what to do with them. So this card is perfect. So once you master it, you'll love making them. So there is card Twist and Pop. Because a lot of the cut-aparts now have these 2 by 2s, and they're perfect for these cards. All right. Now this is the fun fold. So I have a 4 by 5 1/4 black, and then I am going to put on my striped paper that we cut. So this was the back of this one. So we'll put that on there. And then I'll put this on. So this one is 3 3/4 by 5. Just have to get a sip of water here. Now this can be for your personal sentiment here, but on this front flap, I am going to put this. So this would be 2 1/2 by 4. And then I cut a piece of striped. So this would be 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. Okay. So then this folds up like that. So now, remember I cut this one down to 3 by 4. So now I'm going to mat it on to this 4 1/4 by 3 1/4 black. All right, and then this one goes on here. Now you just attach it at the top because this part folds underneath. All right, so I'm only putting adhesive, and I'm going to put some tape instead. of just using my tape gun, just to give it some strength. You can also use foam tape if you want. All right, so I'm going to remove this tape backing. And I'm putting it right in the center of my card. Okay, so it's right in the center. Personal message here, and then it folds up and it tucks under that. So it does stand up nicely, and then you pull it like this and you write your message there, and then it folds up like that. All right, so there's 2 cards, our twist and pop and our fun fold. And now we'll make our wiper card. So for the wiper card, you're going to have, and again, I have full instructions for this. Right here. All right, you're going to take your paper, and your paper is 4.5 by 6. Okay, so 6 by 4.5. And you're going to score it at 3/4, and you're going to score it at 1.5. And you're going to do that on both of them. All right, so you're going to score at 3.25 or 3/4 and 1.5. Then you're going to have 2 little pieces of black. And these little pieces of black are 2 by 3/4. All right? 2 by 3/4. All right, you're going to put a little tick mark at 3/4. Now you can do this with a pencil, or just do it with your bone folder. All right, so I've got my little tick mark there. So now I'm going to line up that tick mark on my black line here and score a diagonal. All right, and I'm going to do that on both of them. So I have my little tick mark, and then I made a score line from the top to that score line, or to that tick mark. Okay, and then I'm going to fold these over and give them a burnish. All right, so one is going to go one way. So this one is going to go this way, and then this one is going to go the opposite way. Okay? And then I'm going to fold this over. So it looks like that. I don't know if you can see the... Okay, see those? How one's going this way and one's going that way? All right, I'm going to bring in my card here. And I'm going to fold on the score lines. So it looks like this. So this one, the first one is a valley fold, and the second one is a mountain fold. And I'm going to do the same on this one. So this one is a valley fold, and this one is a mountain fold. So now I'm going to put them side by side so they look like this. All right, they look like that. So in your instructions, it shows you here. I have the 2 cards right here. And now here are those little ones I was showing you before. And what we're going to do is we're just going to glue that triangle. Just the triangle. All right? So this one is going to go here. Like so. So I'm just gluing the triangle. So I've got my adhesive on here, see that? Just on the triangle. And then I'm going to put it, not in the first section, but I'm putting it in the second section. And the top of that score line on the diagonal is even with the top of the card. All right, so it fits right in there. Okay, so I'm going to do the same on this one. So I want it to go here. So I'm going to put tape on that triangle. So I've got it in the second section. So the top of the diagonal score line is even with the top of the card. Okay, so you want to make sure there's no tape underneath there. Just going to move that down a bit. There we go. So now it looks like this. Okay. All right. I'm going to fold this one over to the right, and I'm going to fold this one over to the left. All right. And then I'm folding this like this. So it looks like that. Okay, so this one looks like this. And this one looks like this. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to put tape on these 3/4 inch sections here. And I'm going to do it on both of them. Okay, so they're both in position like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one and I'm flipping it over and I'm going to attach these together. So I've got this one and I'm going to attach it to the right side of the card. Okay, and then I'm going to take this one and I'm attaching it to the left side of the card. And then we have our wipers. See our little wipers moving? You can see those? All right. Now I've cut a piece of white cardstock, 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I'm going to put it on the front of the card. You can tell what the front of the card is because your little wiper is at the top and one at the bottom. Okay? You have to do it a few times to get it going. All right, and then remember we cut this one at 4x4, so we'll put that on. There we go. Follow your dreams. Now we have these little side pieces, and these are the ones that I cut to 1/2 by 4 1/4. So we'll put those on. There we go. And one goes here. Such a fun card. And it's nice that you can use both the sides. The striped and the cut aparts. And it's nice that I used all of the paper. There we go. Okay, now I have these pieces, and I'm going to cut this oval out. Okay, and then this one. There we go. So there's our 2 sentiments. So when the little wipers are out, that's when you're going to put these on. So you'll have to trim them a bit. So I'm going to put some tape about 3/4 of an inch in on my oval. And then I'll just put that on there so that when it goes, you have to work this a bit. So I'm going to trim that off. There we go. And then this one, I'll put it about, again, 3/4 of an inch. And I'll put it on here. So when it's closed, you don't want to see them, okay? So this one I can trim off as well. Okay. And then on the back, you can put your a piece for your sentiment. So you can put a white piece on the back, and that can be for your sentiment or your personal message, I mean. You could put a little pocket on the back here for a gift card or money. And then it goes like this. All right. So what you can do is you can put pull here. Now you could use a stamp, or you can use or just print it. Just grabbing a marker here. So you could put pull, or if you had a stamp, you could put the stamp. Okay, so they know right here to pull, and they'd be holding this side, and then it goes like that. Isn't that cute? So if you just keep doing it, it'll adjust the papers so they work. Okay. All right. So there is our cards. Our Funful card. Our Wiper card. And our Twist and Pop. So there's our 3 cards using the 12 by 12 graduation Simple Stories paper. I will post this handout. It is 3 pages long, but I do give you a detailed description for this. All right, and there we go. I will change this to say cut the pieces at 1 3/4, and then I'll post it. All right. Okay. So if you need grad cards, stop by the Scrapbook Cottage and pick up this paper. So you'll need this paper. You'll need your white cardstock, black cardstock, and a little bit of gray. All right? Okay. So that's it. Have a great weekend, everybody. And I'll be back on Tuesday. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.